Las Vegas was once the world's playground. Now, it is a city so expensive that visitor numbers just suffered their steepest drop in 50 years. Prices have soared from the $5 shrimp cocktail to $100 hotel rooms packed with hidden fees, and the middle class is disappearing as fast as the crowds on the casino floors. If Las Vegas is only for the rich now, why does it feel emptier than ever? And what went so wrong beneath the neon? June 2025 delivered a blow Las Vegas hasn't seen in half a century, an 11.3% drop in visitor numbers compared to the year before. That single month alone meant over 300,000 fewer people on the Strip, emptying out casino floors and leaving 1.5 million fewer visitors in the first half of the year. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority tables show the city's hotels running at 78.7% occupancy, down more than 6 points from 2024, and far below the days when weekends meant standing room only, from Mandalay Bay to the Sahara. September brought no relief, with arrivals tumbling another 8.8% from the previous year. For perspective, the last time Vegas saw a collapse like this was during the Great Recession. In 2009, tourism dropped just over 10% as foreclosures and layoffs swept through Clark County. Economists at UNLV now warn that the current downturn isn't about a financial crisis or a pandemic. It's something deeper, a sustained, multi-year slide that has left the city with the steepest drop in visitor volume outside of any national emergency. Casino floors at the Bellagio and MGM Grand echo with the sound of empty space. Where crowds once packed the blackjack tables, wide aisles stretch unbroken. The Sahara gaming pit sits half-lit on weekdays, a far cry from the shoulder-to-shoulder energy that defined Las Vegas for generations. At the airport, TSA counts and flight data confirm the pattern: fewer arrivals, fewer international flights, and a drop in big spending guests from Canada and Asia. The numbers do not lie. In just 6 months, Las Vegas lost more tourists than the entire city of Boston sees in a year. And while the Strip's lights still burn, the data point to a city struggling to fill its rooms, its restaurants, and its sense of purpose. Explanations for Las Vegas's sudden emptiness come from every corner, some pointing abroad, others closer to home. In 2018, a wave of tariffs and public disputes with Canada triggered a 20% drop in Canadian arrivals over the next 5 years. Tour operators rerouted group bookings to Mexico or kept them domestic, while major airlines cut direct flights to McCarran by 1/3. At the same time, U.S. visa restrictions tightened for Asian travelers, and junket operators shifted their attention to Macau and Singapore, where incentives and tax breaks outmatched anything on the Strip. Local officials, though, resist the idea that Vegas is losing its appeal. A senior spokesperson for the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority insists that this city has weathered downturns before. We are built for resilience. They point to the city's track record of bouncing back after the Great Recession and the pandemic. Their data shows that even with fewer visitors, the average guest now spends $1,300 per trip. The official line attributes the recent slump more to global economic jitters, currency swings, and competition from Europe than to anything fundamentally broken in Las Vegas itself. Still, not everyone buys the optimism. Local headlines and industry insiders use the phrase "Trump slump" to describe the chill that settled over international travel after 2018. Political tensions and boycotts, especially from Canada and parts of Asia, cut deep into the city's high-spending visitor base. Meanwhile, the rapid rise of online gambling, now legal in more than 30 states by 2025, offers an easy alternative to flying in for a weekend at the tables. Convention bookings, once the Strip's safety net, have grown more volatile, with planners citing unpredictable costs and shifting preferences for other U.S. cities. Behind every explanation is a debate. Is Las Vegas suffering from forces outside its control, or is it pushing people away with its own choices? The answer, for many, seems tangled in the fine print of what a Vegas getaway actually costs. A Las Vegas getaway, once famous for its bargain rooms, now delivers a jolt before you even step inside the lobby. On the booking screen, the MGM Grand flashes a tempting $39 nightly rate. But the moment you reach checkout, the number leaps to $103.47. The breakdown is stark. $54.95 for the mandatory resort fee, $9.52 in taxes, and the original $39 room rate. That fee alone is nearly 1.5 times the price of the room itself, and there is no way around it. Every major strip hotel now adds a similar charge, whether you use the gym, the pool, or just want a place to sleep. This is not an outlier. In 2010, a typical resort fee was $10 or less. By 2015, it climbed to $25 to $35. Now, in 2025, the median fee is $54.95 with most flagship hotels. Bellagio, Caesars Palace, Wynn, the Venetian, charging between $50 and $57 a night, every night. A simple bar graph of the past decade shows a 5-fold increase. The advertised price is just the first step. The real cost sits in the fine print, revealed only at the final click. Receipts and booking confirmations spell out the new math. A $39 room, once a symbol of Vegas's open-door promise, now means triple-digit totals for a single night. For a 3-night stay, hidden costs can add $150 to $250. The majority of travelers, 78% in recent surveys, say they feel misled by the practice. For many, it is not just a matter of money. The shock comes from realizing Vegas is no longer built around a sense of value. The sticker price is a mirage, and the real cost of entry is higher than ever. Federal regulators stepped in after years of traveler complaints, but the fix was more cosmetic than structural. In 2024, the Federal Trade Commission issued a new rule requiring all hotels to display the true total price, including resort fees, up front, before the final click. The change forced every major Las Vegas property to update its booking sites, and for the first time the real cost of a room appeared on the search page, not buried in the checkout process. Yet the fees themselves remained. The $54.95 nightly surcharge at Bellagio or Caesars did not vanish. It simply moved out of the shadows. Industry filings show that by summer 2025, nearly every strip hotel continued charging mandatory fees, with the median now just under $55 a night. Only a handful of downtown holdouts like Casino Royale and Four Queens still advertise that they never charged a resort fee. For most travelers, the experience changed only at the margins. The sticker shock arrived earlier, but the bill stayed the same. Booking engines and travel apps reported a measurable dip in conversion rates, down 9% in the first quarter after the rule took effect. Focus group interviews revealed a deeper frustration. Guests felt less misled, but more excluded. The math was clear, the welcome less so. Consumer advocates called the reform a half measure. One filing with the Federal Trade Commission summed up the mood by saying that transparency without affordability just tells people exactly how much they cannot afford to come. For many, the new clarity did not restore trust. It only confirmed what they suspected. Las Vegas is no longer hiding the price of entry. It is simply raising it in plain sight. The Strip's transformation is hard to miss. Where souvenir shops and penny slots once lined the walkways, glass-front boutiques now stretch for blocks. Dior, Prada, and Chanel gleaming under spotlights. The shops at Crystals, once a novelty, now claim over 90% of their space for high-end brands, with 31 new luxury flagships added since 2018. At Bellagio, the retail promenade expanded to 91,000 square feet by 2023, with more than 3/4 of tenants now carrying designer names. Even the Wynn and Encore Esplanades, which nearly doubled in size since 2016, dedicate 75% of their storefronts to labels like Bottega Veneta and Brunello Cucinelli. This isn't just a facelift, it's a deliberate pivot. Commercial real estate filings show that since 2015, luxury retail space on the Strip has grown by more than a quarter, with over 80% of new or repurposed corridors leased to designer tenants. Industry analysts confirm the logic. A smaller, wealthier visitor base spends more per trip, and luxury brands pay top dollar for prime locations. Lease values in these corridors now rival those on Rodeo Drive. Menus tell the same story. At flagship restaurants, a single order of caviar can run $400. Coffee and pancakes at a strip cafe cost $50. The days of the $5 shrimp cocktail have vanished, replaced by price lists that seem designed to impress or intimidate. A public relations spokesperson for one of the largest hotel groups says they are responding to market demand, that their guests want the very best, and they are investing in amenities to match. But for every press release touting an elevated experience, there is a chorus of longtime visitors who feel left behind. One regular, who has been coming since the days of dollar blackjack, shakes his head. Vegas used to be for everyone. Now it is like they do not even want us here. The polished marble, the designer storefronts, the tasting menus, each is a signal. Las Vegas has become an intentional playground for the global elite, not the working-class escape it once was. For many, the city's reinvention is less about progress and more about exclusion. A single receipt tells the story. At a mid-tier strip restaurant, a basic meatball appetizer rings up at $24. A bottle of domestic beer, $11. In-room snack baskets, once a freebie for high rollers, now cost $67. No warning, just a charge for opening the lid. These are not rare splurges. They are the new normal for anyone who wants to eat, drink, or relax in Las Vegas. The pain isn't limited to travelers. On the casino floor, workers feel the squeeze from both sides. Linda, a cocktail server with decades behind her, says tips have fallen by almost a third since the late 90s. People used to leave a $5 without blinking. Now it's $1, maybe $2 if they order at all. She keeps a log in her phone. On a busy Saturday in 1999, she'd walk with nearly $200 in tips. Last month, on a similar shift, she cleared just over $70. The base wage has inched up, but never enough to keep pace with the cost of living, or the cost of working in Las Vegas. A culinary union representative lays it out. Our members are watching their livelihoods erode. The guests are angry about being nickel and dimed, so they tip less, spend less, and come back less. That means fewer hours, fewer jobs, and more stress for everyone. Tip tracking logs from major properties confirm the trend. Since 1999, average tips per shift are down 30%, and the disappearance of comped drinks and free buffets has cut into the little extras that made the job worthwhile. The loss isn't just about money. It's about the sense of welcome that once defined the city. When the cost of a weekend spirals out of reach and the perks that softened the blow vanish, both guests and workers are left asking the same question: who is Las Vegas really for now? The answer echoes in every empty seat and every unclaimed dollar on the table. Canadian travelers once filled Las Vegas hotels by the busload, but now their absence is measured in empty seats and shuttered group tours. Inbound traffic from Canada has fallen more than 20% since 2021, a drop confirmed by both the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority and the largest Canadian tour operators. Direct flights from Toronto, Vancouver, and Calgary have been slashed by nearly a third since 2022, with Air Canada and WestJet pulling back service after years of steady demand. A longtime Canadian inbound tour operator describes the new reality. Vegas used to be our #1 package. Now families ask for Mexico or they just stay home. The value is gone, and so is the fun. The decline is not limited to Canada. Asian high-roller junket business has shifted away from the Strip, with major operators now booking their biggest clients in Macau and Singapore. Visa restrictions, tighter controls on large money transfers, and richer incentives overseas have left Las Vegas's once busy baccarat rooms nearly silent during key holidays. Casino hosts quietly admit that the high-limit tables are emptier than they have been in decades. Latino families, too, are coming less often. Surveys show a 3 to 5% drop in arrivals among working-class visitors, with price-sensitive groups especially hard hit by rising room rates and add-on fees. Retirees and repeat guests cite the same reason. We used to come twice a year. Now it is just not possible on a fixed income. Seat capacity into Las Vegas is down 30% from its peak, and international arrivals have slipped 13% in just the past year. The empty spaces on casino floors and quiet lobbies are not random. They trace the outlines of missing Canadians, absent Asian high rollers, and families who once made the Strip their playground. As one operator puts it, the spark that made Vegas feel alive. It is just not here anymore. 90 minutes south of the Strip, Laughlin still clings to its reputation as the last working-class outpost for gamblers and retirees. The drive down Highway 95 ends at a riverfront lined with aging hotels, their neon signs flickering half-lit against the desert dusk. Inside, casino floors feel sparse. On weekdays, entire wings sit dark, and the low hum of slot machines is interrupted by stretches of silence. The Riverside menu offers a shrimp plate for $28.99, once a symbol of splurge, now a reminder of how far prices have drifted from the days of all-you-can-eat buffets for a few bucks. The town's struggle is visible in every corner. In 2022, a financial scare nearly shuttered the Riverside Resort, with union letters and state filings warning that a collapse could set off a domino effect along the river. Occupancy rates hover below 2/3, and average room prices, while far cheaper than Las Vegas, have crept up to $56 or more on busy weekends. The Colorado Belle stands as a shell, its neon dim, its casino closed since the pandemic. A motel manager who has worked the same desk for over a decade describes a business built on regulars. Bus tours from Phoenix, retirees escaping Vegas prices, families looking for a bargain. They keep coming back because they remember what value felt like, she says. But even here, it is getting harder to deliver that. Costs go up. Rooms stay empty, and every year it feels like we are holding on by our fingernails. The promise of affordable escape is fading, not just in Las Vegas, but in the very places that once offered refuge to the people left behind. In June 2025, LAS Vegas saw an 11.3% drop in visitors, the steepest decline since the Great Recession. The evidence is clear. Resort fees have climbed five-fold since 2010, with the average now $54.95, and once affordable rooms routinely cost over $100 after hidden charges. Designer corridors have replaced cheap buffets, and working-class tourists now face $11 beers and $67 snack baskets. Major visitor groups, including Canadians and Asian high rollers, have shrunk sharply, with inbound seat capacity down 30% since 2019. Yet, it remains uncertain whether recent policy changes or shifting global travel will reverse these trends. What is clear is that Las Vegas, built as an accessible escape, is now designed for an elite few. The city's transformation mirrors a national pattern: luxury zones rising, affordability fading. When the city of dreams becomes out of reach for most, it forces us to confront who modern America is really for. Thanks for watching Hard Truth Untold. If you found this eye-opening, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into America's changing cities, hidden housing trends, and the real stories shaping everyday life. New investigations are on the way. Stay tuned.